During the memorial of Jesus Christ's death, the anointed partake in the different emblems used in the Lord's evening meal, and thus deemed partakers. In previous years, their number has been dwindling until in 2005 it reached 8,500. However, since then, it's jumped from 8,500 to over 19,000 in 2018. This is possibly concerning to some brothers and sisters because it seems to indicate that this system we live in might go on longer. But is this the case? Should it really concern us how many partakers there are right now? Well, let's find out. First, by turning to Revelation chapter 12, verse 17. And here we'll explain one of the first reasons why we shouldn't be worried. Here at Revelation 12, verse 17, it says, "So the dragon became enraged at the woman and went off to wage war with the remaining ones of her offspring, who observe the commandments of God and have the work of bearing witness concerning Jesus." This scripture is assuring us that there are supposed to be remaining ones before the Great Tribulation, a remnant of the anointed. But it doesn't point out how many there are supposed to be. So why be worried about how many partakers there are right now when we don't even know how many there's supposed to be? Also, we don't know God's thought process in choosing the anointed. Only He knows the most opportune time for them to ascend into heaven. So who are we to question the wisest being in the universe of all time? Only God knows when, and for good reason. Which brings us to another point. Jehovah knows who He'll choose to be anointed. Notice how this is brought out in 2 Timothy 2, verse 19. Here it says, "Despite that, the solid foundation of God remains standing, having this seal: Jehovah knows those who belong to Him, and let everyone calling on the name of Jehovah renounce unrighteousness." Those who are partaking right now have received an invitation to be anointed. They aren't anointed yet until they die faithfully to Jehovah. Jehovah knows those who belong to Him. So the number of partakers we have each year at Memorial isn't necessarily an accurate representation of the anointed remnant right now. So this is not to say that some of these partakers are frauds. Instead, there are too many variables to say how many of the anointed remnant are really left. For example, some partakers who are doing so have stopped for various reasons. Some have emotional or mental issues that lead them to believe they're anointed. And also, many of the first century Christians proved to be false Christians, which may explain why now, since there is a definite version of true Christians and false Christians, it may explain why there's an influx of partakers nowadays. But the fact of the matter is, we don't know how many of the anointed remnant are left, and we don't know how much longer this system is going to go on. So we don't need to be worried about this recent abundance of partakers who have joined, because there's no correlation between the time of the end and them. Jesus said that no one knows the day nor the hour, and even though we don't know when God's day will come, we can be certain that He will fulfill His promises as He always has. And as long as we serve faithfully until the end, we can be sure to see His promises fulfilled.